Raza.
Bienvenidos.
¿Cómo andamos?
Oh my God, I'm so excited to be here again.
I know, dude. It's been a hot fucking minute.
Yes,
okay.
I feel like, oh my gosh, I haven't filmed in some time because we did a part 1 and part 2.
Yes,
so that was like
fully loaded with our cousins.
It was, yes. So
Yes.
thank you guys for being here and for another episode and for watching us and for being loyal and being patient with us. So here we are with another episode. So should we initiate?
Full disclaimer, last episode, there was a bottle.
Yes, there was.
There was a bottle of tequila at the beginning of the night that my cousin brought as a celebration, the fact that he was going to be invited to the podcast. Right?
Yeah.
The bottle was empty at the end of the night.
You guys saw that in the film. Yeah.
Just so you guys know, by the end of the podcast, we had killed that bottle. And Brenda wasn't drinking because she was driving.
Yeah.
So 3 people killed a bottle. So just know, ténganos paciencia, así como que se nos calentó la sangrita, things like that. Entonces, pues estamos
Hey,
así.
you know what? We had a great time.
It is what it is. We had an amazing
time.
Cantamos, no manches, como se me salió en la vocecita, pero le echamos ganas and I'm really happy that we did that. I love it.
Así
I love
es.
it so much.
I had a blast.
I really had a blast.
Como siempre, we should initiate the way that we always start. So, cheers to everybody.
Saludcita.
Once again, I am repping my El Paso. I feel like last time I was repping my El Paso one.
Never been to Vegas, and I don't want to go to Vegas until I travel the world, but I'll go to Vegas here. Cheers.
Jesus.
Lord Daddy Jesus Christ. Woo! Jesus, I feel like my liver's been a little bit... Oh, God, Michelle. Is it me? Are we getting old? What's going on?
Yeah. We're getting old, man.
Maybe it's one of those days.
Maybe
Usually it comes
chills.
down and I'm just like, ¿qué pasó? ¿Qué es lo que pasó? Que se desmayó.
You would think that after, like you age and then you drink all of this amount of liquor, you feel like your body is like now used to it.
Yes.
But I feel like the older I get and the more I consume, the more it feels like, I don't know how I feel about this, Michelle. We're not 21 anymore.
Michelle, ya no estamos en los momentos de antes.
Yeah.
I honestly had a really short phase of wanting to party hard.
Yeah.
I really did have a short phase. I did it for 5 minutes. I did it for I come from a conservative family and I come from a very traditional cultural family.
Yeah.
Y ustedes lo saben. And so I had a moment where I moved out and I went to school and I partied hard.
Yeah.
But that lasted for a little bit. And then I realized, wow, my parents were right. I really
you got it out of your system. At some point you have to I feel like you have to go out and you have to experience that to fully get it out of your system. Because otherwise you're never going to learn what it's like and you're never going to learn whether you like it or not. So
exactly.
Yeah, that was good.
I liked it for that 5 minutes.
That 5 minutes that it lasted. I feel like for me, it didn't come until I was after 21. I feel like that phase didn't fully, didn't kick in full charge until I was maybe about 23 years old.
What do you think changed in that time? After you hit 21, was it the fact that you just could go out? Or what was
you want to
it?
know what it was? I took everything so serious, man.
She hella did, you guys. She really did. She was You grew up really fast, Michelle.
I did. And, and I feel like in a way, I don't know. I felt like I took everything so serious. I was never, I don't know if I've mentioned this in the podcast in the past, but I was very much nightmare driven versus dream driven. So for example,
what does that mean?
Let me clarify. What that means for me is that I was not motivated. I wasn't chasing a dream. I was more running away from the nightmare. I knew exactly what I didn't want. So then therefore I busted my ass and I knew that I had to do whatever I needed to do in order for me to not end in my nightmare. So I did whatever I had to do. So I legitimately celebrated my 21st under my own roof of my first home. because I legitimately have purchased cheers to that. Thank you. I feel like it's one of my greatest accomplishments. So I literally celebrated my 21st birthday under the house that I had bought at 20 years old. I bought my first home at 20. Yeah. And sure, it is a great accomplishment. I don't want to take away from that.
Yeah.
However, I did feel like I was just so serious. Like I was just so focused that I think that somewhere along, that journey, I forgot to have a little bit of fun. So when I was, 22, 23 or whatever, it's when I fully realized, I was like, oh my God, there's nightlife. Oh my God, there's bars, there's clubs, there's dancing. This is exactly what I enjoy. And I feel like that's when I started to like really go out and do it. And then pandemic hit, of course, and now I feel like I can't do that. But
we could still perrear poquito y...
Ay, sí.
Pero obviously
falta.
It's obviously very different now. But I feel like in that time, you guys also have to understand, Michelle es inmigrante. She's first generation, but she's inmigrante. So, excuse me. That was my jaw was trying to burp right now. Pardon my manners. Pero you can't blame yourself for being a nightmare. It is a product of your environment, of
and
the
my
struggle
upbringing.
Michelle, you came to a country that you didn't know.
Yeah.
That you weren't born into. Like you didn't speak the language. Like we were your support system for we could only support you like this much, right? A certain amount. Pero yo siento que tú pasaste por cosas más difíciles, and when you are exposed to like more traumatic events or you have a rougher upbringing, you formulated a defense mechanism
that I was more motivated to the nightmare than the actual like chasing the dream, because I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Yes.
But I did know that I didn't want to end up in a place or that I was working hard to avoid being in the places for my future family in the same places that I was growing up.
Yes.
And, pero cuando me acordé que pues era joven y que como que un poquito bella, no sé, como que ahí tenía mi...
Re chula, pues, se acordó que estaba re chula.
Me peiné, ¿cómo va esa canción de Ozuna? Se preparó. Se puso linda, su amiga llamaba. Salió de rumba, nada le importó. Así me sentí.
Así se sintió. Ozuna escribió la canción después de Michelle.
¿Sabes qué? Sí, pensó Ozuna. ¿Sabes qué? Aquí está la Michelle, así es como se siente.
La Michelle se siente que se quiere preparar.
Sí.
No para el estudio, no para la carrera,
pero
sino para el perreo.
Exactamente. O sea, como que toda la vida se dedicó a todo lo demás menos al perreo y como que no. Y entonces
salir, fumar, beber,
subir un video para que lo vean.
Ya salió otra que está bien chingona, la de Sal y perrea. Pero hay una dice bien bonito.
No es la nueva de Becky G o algo así. Creo que acaba de sacar una nueva canción, la Becky G.
La Becky G pues siempre saca las canciones bien bonitas.
Sí, pues.
Pero no, sacaron una canción de Sal y perrea. La rola está buena. Cuídense. Disfruten y cuídense. Así dicen, fuck, I have to bring it up. I'll bring it up next time.
Sí.
But it's a song that's like, disfruten y cuídense.
¿De quién?
Puta, it's in Baila Reggaeton. It's in the Baila Reggaeton Spotify playlist.
Okay,
I don't know the name of the song.
I got us. I pay for Spotify. I pay my bills. Baila Perreo.
Sal y perrea.
Wait, pero is it on the Baila Perreo playlist?
Yes, it's Baila Reggaeton.
Oh, Baila Reggaeton.
There's a Perreo playlist and a Baila Reggaeton playlist.
Baila Reggaeton.
Sal y perrea.
Is it la nueva de Bad Bunny?
Yoganui?
How do you pronounce it? Yonaguni?
Yonaguni fui. Yo no fui. Diles que yo no fui. No, sal y perrea.
Sal y perrea.
There's a verse in it that says like, take care of yourselves. Cuídense. And it was such a beautiful thing to me. I don't know what, for me as a woman, alguien que me diga, ve a perrear, pero cuídate, I think that's beautiful.
¿Y perrea?
I think that's beautiful.
Burrito, no.
Con mi burrito sabanero en caminos de Belén. Okay, we're not in Christmas yet, okay? But when we have a Christmas episode.
Pues ahí está la canción. If you guys know the song, maybe, hey, you know what? If you're watching this on YouTube, comment down below. Please Tell us what the name of that song is.
It's Sal y Perrea. La canción se llama...
Sal y Perrea.
Yes, se llama Sal y Perrea, pero
the verse... It's by Sech.
Sech.
Yeah, I'm going to sing... Hey, you guys, I'm going to be at Baja Beach Fest in August.
He's going to be there?
The first weekend, and he will be there. Ay, chinga, me emocioné. Yeah, he will be there. And I'm very excited. Because I feel like it's going to be my first music festival since this whole pandemic happened. And I'm very excited. I'm going to see a bunch of these reggaetoneros. Ozuna will be there. J Balvin Daddy will be there. Maluma won't be there, but I've already seen Maluma. Anyways, but moving on. Thank you so much again for being here, guys. Before we get too sidetracked, I know you had some topics that you wanted to discuss, and I know you had. We were just right before filming this. We were talking about a few things, and as you guys know, we always like to come on here and share it with you guys because we can only hope and pray that maybe some of you guys are going through some of the same things that we're going through, and we're just here to basically voice it out and talk about it and see how we feel and give perspective.
It's not talked about enough.
Yeah.
And I think today's subject it stemmed mainly from events that happen in our lives, but I think that also, we go through things, we do things that lead us to thinking about other things, right? Mm-hmm. Right. So we just went camping.
Yeah, we did. It was so much fun.
For the first time, I went camping the first time we went camping was with your family, but that wasn't camping, bro.
It was not camping.
No, mames, wait. Do you want to explain, Michelle? You explain to them what the situation was like. It was like back to back.
Yeah, it was like a park.
It was a trailer park.
Yeah, basically. It was just kind of like, hey, come and park your RV or park your whatever.
We were playing.
And set up your tent. And it's literally next to each, like you're not too far away from the city. So it was kind of like not even camping. Yeah. I feel like when you go camping, you go out into the wilderness. Camping I don't know, for some reason, I just have this perspective of that. We were next to, please don't take this offensively, but I'm going to just say it how it is. We were next to white trash. White trash.
And we're not even exaggerating. Like this woman was yelling at her fucking 10-year-old daughter. The little girl was like mad at her, right?
I'm not joking. No, like when we're literally saying she's 10, we're literally meaning
this little girl is a fucking little girl.
Yeah.
She's yelling at her mom. Her mom's hella mad. She's yelling at her mom. I don't want to be here anymore. She's like, I want to go with my dad. And then this bitch turns around and tells her 10-year-old daughter, why? So he can molest you again? I'm like, bitch, what in the cousin fucking Betty Crocker tarnation shit is this? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you telling her this little 10-year-old girl?
We're just trying to make some s'mores, man.
Man, thank God my parents don't speak English, bro.
Thank God.
They were like, what the fuck are they yelling about? And the cousins...
They had loud music 24/7. And listen, I'm all about music because I'm that person.
And we love country.
And we do.
We love country.
But the thing is that they were... It was just a whole different vibe, man.
No, it wasn't it.
And we were just like, if this is camping, we don't want it.
No. So I fucking hated that. I was like, this is not fun. But we were little
you know what? We floated down the river. That was awesome.
That was fun.
I feel like I really enjoyed that.
Being in the campsite was not fun. But floating down the river was fun for sure.
Yeah, it was.
But anyways, that was a fucking shit show of a camping trip. So this was our official camping trip that we took with my brother, my sister, Michelle, Christian, Miriam, Chris, a bunch of different people. Denise came, Julie came, and we set up a tent, and it was a beautiful experience, right? We set up our tent. Mm-hmm. We were out in nature. We were at Lake Berryessa. Christian has a boat. I don't have the right type of white friends. None of them have a boat, but my homie Colombian, the Colombian is the one that has a boat.
Yeah. We have a boat, and it's so awesome to take it out and enjoy. And we were like, let's take it out camping.
Yes. No, it was such an amazing experience. And we were there. We were cooking out. I was just like, how do I explain this? The people who know me will look at me in a campsite and be like, this bitch is in her zen. I was in my zen, being out in nature. And may I have another? Oh, sorry, I apologize. I'll take a half a shot, please.
Okay.
being out in nature is my zen.
Wait, pause. Did you want me to refill it for you to sip? Or you want me to give you a full so you can just like sip through it?
Yeah, give me a full so you can sip.
Sorry,
give me to the black line.
It's crucial times right now.
Yes.
Wait.
Plus it's...
Halfway?
Tú échale como tú quieras, hombre. So I'm a tomboy. And if you haven't noticed that, then I don't know if you know how to read people, but I'm a tomboy. And my cousin here, she I don't know, right? So I was in my zen. I was hella happy waking up about fucking 6 a.m. and shit. Tell me why.
That's right.
Michelle.
Okay, go ahead and finish your story.
Okay. Michelle's going to talk about what Michelle is like at a campsite. But I would never, ever, ever go camping with any other person because Michelle is just this fucking team player. You're my best friend. You're more than my best friend. You're my sister. You're my cousin. You're my blood. Yeah. I don't even know how to describe you, bitch. But I love you. We're doing this.
I love you too.
This time I want to cry. But I love you, but like, I wouldn't go camping with anybody else.
Yeah.
But we're two very different people.
We are. Different energy.
I'm the bitch that'll wake up at 5 a.m. and start fucking cutting some wood to...
I'm sorry, but yes.
Michelle, how was your camping experience?
Okay, so we went camping, right? And so we get there, we set up our tent. So she sets up her tent. We have another buddy of ours, which we really hope to have him in the next episode.
Yes.
He sets up his tent, and then Christian and I set up our tent, right? So we bring an inflatable mattress because we decided we have so many of them that we were like, hey, you know what? I don't have a sleeping bag. We only have one, but a air mattress is going to do us good. So we brought it. Well, tell me why this bitch starts to deflate as the night goes on, right? Okay,
her mattress that was supposed to be for like...
Yeah.
Her glamping style mattress.
Yeah, exactly. It's like one of those, like, not even the like little ones. It's like the fucking tall one that I'm just like, okay, this bitch should last. Well, no, let me just tell you, it deflated. And then since it's tall, you ended up in like, it was like a hammock almost, you know, you're like all like, I can't explain.
Pero Michelle, no mames, estabas bien acurrucadita con tu chiqui baby.
I was, pero el chiqui baby kept hearing things throughout the night. So he goes, do you hear that?
Ay, Dios.
Y pues if anybody out there knows that when you're in an inflatable mattress, it like shifts and it has you basically like you're in a trampoline, okay? So basically he gets up and then he like, and every time he got up, I'm like, just bouncing everywhere. So I cannot sleep.
So she says, but...
Yeah.
We don't know what other movement was going on in that bed.
No,
all right?
sadly, not the good stuff. I wish it would have been the good stuff. But it was just, I was not sleeping. I woke up several times throughout the night and then I had to use the bathroom. It was just like, I didn't get any sleep.
Michelle, how was peeing in the bushes for you?
Oh, it's just second nature to me.
I think so too, huh?
Yeah, because, you know, I'll get back to that, but let me finish that. So basically, Christian gets up a couple times and he keeps me up because the raccoons were fucking taking our marshmallows, man, and you can hear them. And so he went out there a couple times, and finally, it's 5 a.m. and I'm finally able to like sleep after waking up throughout the night. Y son las 6 de la mañana.
Son las 6 de la mañana.
And right outside her tent. Nada. Oh, pues sí, es que fíjate, no sé, about law school. Y toda la conversación up until like 7:30 or 8. Yo escuché todo.
Me and Julie woke up really early, right? So
yeah. So I can hear them right outside my tent. And I'm like.
Julie and I slept on a little inflatable mattress that they gave us. And it was really comfortable. And I don't glamp. But there was eye covers that I had that my sister gave me for Christmas. And so I was like, I'm going to use these to try and fall asleep sooner. Bitch, I knocked out quick. So we woke up at 6 a.m. with bitch. I was so excited. So I was really excited to be camping.
She was.
I was like, it's not my house.
And it's not her fault the night I had, but I basically like unzipped my tent and I came out like.
We started cooking. So me and Ricky woke up. Me and Julie woke up. We were fucking talking. We made coffee. Yeah. And then me and Ricky start cooking. And Michelle comes out. She's like, this happened. This and this and this. And I was like,
I was just being like a grump ass. Like I was grumpy of the day.
I feel like it wouldn't have been a camping trip if one of us wasn't like that though.
Yeah.
I really would.
And so get this, right? So I had pre-chopped everything already. Like I stayed up late the day prior to us going camping and I chopped all the bell peppers. I chopped literally everything in hopes that, we didn't have to do so much work. Y cuando me desperté, es que me levanté porque escuché, I'm going to start chopping this. I'm going to start chopping. I'm like, no, stop. I already did everything.
A pesar de que la pobrecita no durmió.
Ajá. Me levanté.
Yo y mi carnal, my older brother, somos bien acomedidos.
They are. They really are.
You motherfuckers take us to a camping trip.
You know what? Next time, I'm not even going to pre-prep anything because si viene la Tita y el Ricky,
we're bien acomedidos and we're just like, ¿qué ocupas? ¿Qué falta? Esto, lo otro. Like, I was ready to...
They're ready to perform a show.
Yeah, we're ready to build a house.
Do business, yeah.
Yes. So we mean business when we're camping. But I was just like, ¿qué falta? ¿Qué se necesita? Somos servidores. Nuestra familia, tú eres una servidora.
I am.
Tú eres una fucking amazing host.
Yeah.
Y eres una servidora. Y nuestra familia también es así. So we're always thinking about la otra persona, right? So we're over here, we're camping, we're like cutting up. She's already like, no pudo dormir. El pobre de Christian, who was the one that fucking drove us to like bury us up.
Oh, yeah.
Everything, we unloaded everything together, but it's like, él está bien cansado. He prepped hell of fucking shit aquí en la casa. So he was really tired, right? They woke up from a bad night of rest. And Michelle was just like, this.
I was just not having it. I didn't sleep. I was just like, no.
Bro, I would have been dead. If I would have been dead, when my paciencia is short. Just walk away. Just leave me be.
Yeah.
Please leave me be.
Yeah. Same.
But other than that, no, Michelle, I wasn't talking about that to bring up that. But other than that, the camping trip was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
We went on the boat.
Yeah.
I killed a 32 ounce.
Oh my God, yes. Okay, so finally, so listen, all you gotta do to kill my grumpiness, you just gotta give me food, you gotta give me coffee, and then that's it. I think I'll be good. Just feed me and give me coffee. I'll be solid. Well, we finally get on with our lives and we decide that we're gonna finally take the boat out. And this bitch over here, she shows up with this big ass, what was it? How many ounces?
32 ounces 32 of a 6.8 hazy IPA from Old Cask Beer. If any single human being that is watching our podcast episode has not tried Old Cask Beer in Roanoke Park, please, I beg of you, for the life of me, I ask you one thing. Go and buy their beer. It's fucking amazing. It's local, small batch, really, really good.
Yep.
Proceed.
Yep. It was so much fun. And basically this bitch comes out, she brings out her thing and she just, I put on my little, my salvavidas because I was going to be drinking and laking. We're responsible.
So I don't drink and lake unless I have a salvavidas on, right? My little, how do you say it in English?
Life jacket?
Life jacket. Yeah. Yes. So yo tenía mis salvavidas, me lo puse, Primero me metí. I went pee-pee because that's what you do in the lake. That's what you do in the lake.
Actually, they have these floating bathrooms at Lake Berryessa.
They're actually really awesome. Really, really nice. But bitch, you know me. I'm not going to fucking do that. So went to the bathroom, then put on my little salvavidas, had my old Kaz, 32 ounce. Didn't know what the percentage was. It was so good. It was going down like water. The sun was hitting my face. It was really hot. I was drinking it. 30 minutes later, I've drank 32 ounces of 6.8 hazy IPA. That is equivalent to 4 hazy IPAs.
Yeah, which is a lot.
30 minutes. 4 beers in 30 minutes.
Yeah. This bitch, yeah.
So
she was donezo. I think
I knocked out after that.
Yeah, I think we actually we came home and then we basically we all napped. I want to say
mean to our camping?
I mean, Listen,
llegamos a nuestra casa en la
hey,
madre
you
tierra.
wanna hear a funny story? Actually, talking about home. Okay, one time I refer home, like we went back home to where the place that we're sleeping. Okay, so when I mean like, yeah, we went back home, I mean like to our campsite. One time, this is when I first started dating Christian, and I was barely like starting to get to know him, and we were talking, we were boyfriend and girlfriend, not get to know him, I guess we were already dating, and I was staying at his apartment a lot. And one time I was like, I think I was like cooking, and I was like, oh yeah, then we came back home, and I was referencing Christian's apartment. And Mike at the time, his best friend, and now one of my best friends too, he was like, home, Michelle?
Oh,
home. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, and then I got all red because I was actually referencing Christian's apartment as home.
Stop, I'm gonna cry.
He's like,
because they have a
you're
house
talking
together.
about home. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, oh. But yeah, I reference home wherever I'm sleeping. Sí, mi corazón.
That makes sense. I mean, I could totally see that.
Yeah. So we went back to the campsite, I should say, and we all knocked out. First, because I was sleep deprived. This bitch drank way too much. And
whoa, you guys, no mamen. O sea, ustedes trátenlo un día. Traten de agarrar 4 cervezas de 6.8 para abajo. Para abajo. I'll even give you like 4%. Chíngenselas en 30 minutos y a ver si en otros 15 minutos no están bien pinches pedos. In the lake, bro. Not even that.
Yeah, you're out in the sun.
The sun
yeah.
is a killer.
Yeah.
So if you motherfuckers don't have some bomb-ass polarized glasses, which after that camp trip, I bought glasses.
Yeah.
I have some clear ones. Blue light.
Yeah, I wear some too.
I bought
every
some
day
polarized glasses because I was like, the sun will knock you out. You can be sober and the sun will knock you out.
Yeah, it really does. And I was talking to Christian, actually, I got my boater license because I'm like, okay, if we're going to be out in the boat and I want to drive the boat, I went out and I got my boater's license. So I was taking the test and stuff like that. And actually part of the course, they actually talk about how much energy gets drained out of you and how fatigue can actually affect your ability to drive the boat. And it all has to do with the fact that you're out in the sun and the sun really takes it out of you. And it's crazy to say, but making sure that you have proper eyewear. It's crazy. I know Ricky. Yeah. Pobrecito. The Sunday, right?
El segundo día mi carnal no toma, mi carnal. Mi carnal no toma. Se tomó una cerveza, but he was dead. Like, he was like this on the boat after one beer, and it was the sun. Michelle, it was the sun. Like, it just killed him.
It really was. And you know, when I first started to go out to the lakes and stuff like that, I would not understand why I would feel so fatigued. I was that person that would be like, okay, we're stopping to eat. We would eat, and then I'd be like, okay, I'm going to go take a 30-minute nap or 15-minute nap. I would literally nap as we were out because I literally needed it. And I think that day that you drank and we all napped, I think we all napped for like a couple hours.
I knocked out. Well, I had my little lamp, my little eye cover. My cousin took a picture of it. Once we have our website up and running, we'll post it. But my cousin took a picture of it. I had my little eye covers, and I was hugging a pillow because for me, I always have to hug something when I go to sleep.
Yeah. Cosita.
Oh. But it just has to be nice and fresh, like cold.
Yeah.
Just nice something to cool my body. And yeah, so I knocked the fuck out, like really bad. But yeah, that camping trip was...
Needless to say, we're talking about, like, we got to go do that again. And we got to go camping again.
100%. And if you guys haven't been camping, I don't know how much you guys like nature, but I think one of the purposes of this episode was talking about how that camping trip really helped. It was fucking... We went through a whole pandemic.
Yeah.
We're still going through a whole pandemic. And
a lot of states are open now, and I feel like they're back to normal. I keep seeing stories of my friends in Texas, like they're going out, and one of my good friends posted a video of my favorite nightclub, Malolam. and they're literally out there and it's packed. Like back to, you know, how things were back in the day. She got really that excited. No, but for real though, like I need a trip out there to Malulam. But here in California, we're still under strict ruling.
Until June 15th.
Until June 15th. But basically out there, they're already back to normal. And it's crazy to say, but yeah, that, you know, we're still here. At least in California, we're still under strict rule.
Yeah. I think once June 15th opens, everything comes around, everything's going to open up. Shit's going to be different. We're so excited.
Catch me at Pura or in El Paso.
Catch me. Well, actually, you guys, I will gladly go to a club, maybe twice. I'll give you 2 times.
I think for you, it's really going to depend on the type of club you go to, though.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you're not about like the night party life, but I feel like you're about dancing and un buen ambiente.
Like Glen Ellen.
Yeah.
Glen Ellen is my shit. Like I will go to like a small town bar in the sticks.
That gets popping though.
That gets popping. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
My style is like pura malola.
Yes.
You know, or like a nice country dancing bar where you can actually dance, not just grind your night away.
I know. You should open a bar up.
I know, we should.
This past weekend I was bartending. Bro, I was bartending.
Was killing it.
I was literally bartending, like fucking killing it. And it was just like the music was bumping. I was prepping my shit. Yeah. Music was bumping all night too. I was just making some bomb ass drinks.
Mm-hmm. She was killing it, man.
Fucking $15 drinks.
That Cantarito drink that you've seen here, she was fucking killing it that night. Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was really good. It was
bombed. It was prime, man. Yeah. When I saw her, I saw this like blossom in her. I was just like, bro, you're in your element.
So my personality was gone. I wasn't talking to anybody. We didn't have a single conversation.
I don't think we did. I was just like, y la tita no me habló. But you know what?
Bro, I
analyzed you.
Bitch.
I went back and I was like, she was in her zone. No, I was just on the dance floor. You know, I was trying to initiate a dance party. Yeah. But she was in her zone.
Michelle, we didn't have a single conversation.
We didn't. I think all you did was give me drinks.
Yeah.
I think that was our conversation.
I do catering and I've been a server and I've been in the restaurant industry and I love serving. Anything that has to do with serving.
She enjoys.
I enjoy serving these titties. I'm just kidding. Mom, Dad, if you're watching, I'm glad you don't
blur that out.
Blur that out. I'm glad you don't speak English. But anyways, I love serving. So I was definitely in my zone for sure. Yeah. And that's another thing that I probably, it was probably just my mental
health
inability to focus on one thing.
So bringing it back, we were talking about like the camping trip.
The camping trip that led to the connection to nature, that led to
your feels and how it made you feel.
I feel
how was that for you?
I'm obsessed with nature and I love connecting in nature.
With Mother Earth?
When I connect with Mother Earth, I connect with God. And when I connect with God, I'm okay. And throughout this whole pandemic, like I mentioned, we're going through, it was really hard for me to stay inside my house for so long. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about this. That's what led me to loving carpentry and woodworking and building and doing projects. But I recently found out some stuff medically about me that I just don't, it makes sense now. I went to the doctor and I was like, can you please test me for ADHD? Like, I feel like I don't focus in a conversation fully 100%. Mm-hmm. And when people say things, I'm there until I'm not. Mm-hmm. And I don't think the normal human being thinks like that.
So with that, now that we're diving a little bit deeper into that topic, what is it exactly? Because I've never experienced anything like that, and I really don't know what that is like. So can you describe what it is like for you when you're having a conversation?
When you're having, let me ask you. When you're having a conversation, mm-hmm. do you ever get lost in the conversation? Or are you able to focus? Are you able to focus like on everything they're telling you?
So it really depends. Sorry if you're out there and you've had a conversation with me and I've zoned out. I'm sorry. But the truth is, it really depends, because oftentimes I feel like I'm having a conversation, and for the most part, I do pretty good. But if internally I have a lot of things going on, or if I am going through a lot of things where my mind is elsewhere, then I feel like I can genuinely have a conversation and I really don't know what we just talked about.
So I understand that aspect 100%. If you're
Correct.
Going through it, but
Correct.
if you're a normal,
but if I'm normal,
not because people going through it are normal. But if you're not experiencing any trauma
Correct.
or anything fucked up
that's
in your
where
life.
I was gonna lead to. But I feel like now I'm thinking back, whenever I had all the conversations prior to me not having my mind be elsewhere.
Yeah.
I'm there. I'm pretty there.
Yeah.
I'm a very active listener. And
yes.
I feel like I can focus, and I've read some self-development books. So I've been able to also develop I'm not an expert. Okay. But I've been able to develop a little bit of so diving deep about a person and just conversating with someone, and then I'm actually able to pick up a few things, and then you're like, okay, so tell me more about that, and actively listening to what they're telling me.
And I'm very similar to you. I'm
yeah.
very so if we're having a conversation about something,
right,
I want to know about it. Like if I don't know about something, like a specific field of or subject,
if it interests you,
if it's intriguing to me, I want to know about it, and so I'm there. But in terms of being able to focus on one thing, I can't do it. And so my sister Kathy was telling me, Tita, you fucking have ADHD. I feel like you have ADHD. And I'm like, nah, bro, I'm just I zone out sometimes. Eres muy
despistada, pues.
Yo soy
Me despisto.
So I kept bypassing it and bypassing this idea que yo soy cabrona, yo soy la energética. It's my personality. It's just who I am. I'm this person who doesn't always zone in. Right. And so my sister was like, no, bitch, you should go get checked out. Seriously. And I started, I'm an overthinker, and I'm really good at managing, at planning things. Mm-hmm. But I like to start projects, but I have a very hard time finishing the project. Mm-hmm. I start a project, I don't finish it, and I start another project. So this is just a similar pattern, where I start a conversation, it doesn't end, and I start another conversation. Or I'm thinking about something else midway through the conversation that we're having. Yeah. And during standardized testing, and there's so many stats on standardized testing and the ineffectiveness of that. But a person with ADHD that is doing or taking a standardized test, they are very much struggling and having a very difficult time focusing on that exam. Yeah. I have found myself in standardized testing reading the question 7 times over
before you can actually process what it's asking you.
It's not that I do not understand what it's asking me. It's the inability to focus on finishing the fucking question. Yeah. And I thought, oh, fuck, I'm just really bad at this. It's not my forte. There's things, naturalmente tú piensas, tengo defectos.
I feel like it's a lot easier to be like, es que me estoy apendejando, es que soy pendeja. Or, you know what?
There's things you're good at.
I'm not just great at this.
There's things you're really good at, and there's things you're not really good at. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So anything mechanical, I'm not really good at. But anything building, creative, I'm really good at. Yeah. Right? So I always thought in my brain, oh, I'm just not good at testing. I'm just not good at this. Mm-hmm. Oh, I can't really focus in class. I'm just not good at school. And
it was just a lot easier to be tie a reasonable reason to the where you felt like you were just lacking or missing. Excusa. Yes. Exacto. And just name it and then
you were connecting the dots, right? And so my brain is like this. It's like a motor running. And you know this.
I do. I do know this.
And so I always just thought, oh, it's just me. It's my identity. Exactly. It's my personality. It's just Tita.
Y sabes, yo siempre pensé que era porque you were just super high energy. Yes. And you really are.
Yes, hyperactive, which is what it's called.
Mi mamá decía, yo me acuerdo que mi mamá decía, es que esta niña va a ser buena para que la pongan en karate o como que le pongan en algo activo.
Yeah.
So that she can focus some of her energy into something because she's very active.
Yeah.
And I just always thought that you were just a very active person. I never actually knew what internally in your mind, what you had going on, because we just always assumed that you were just very high energy.
And that is the thing that we wanted to discuss. It's like this idea, this cultural norm and I'm talking about the Mexican culture. I'm not from any other Hispanic culture. I am Latina, I am Hispanic, but I am Mexicana first, right? So my Mexican parents, and when I told my dad, I was diagnosed with ADHD. They're going to start me on medication. They want me to do a trial on different types, see which one is going to be the best for me.
Right.
And he like listens to me, and then he waits, and then he tells me, tú no tienes nada. Tú pon todo en las manos de Dios. And I'm like, of course. I will never deny putting any of my struggles or trauma or problems en las manos de Dios because I believe in God. Yeah. Of course. Mm-hmm. But if there is a chemical imbalance going on in my fucking brain that I always thought was a normal, or I always thought was a part of my being and my identity and my personality.
Yeah.
But it wasn't actually something that was medically or scientifically looked at.
I just, I feel that nowadays, the reason why I feel like I see a little bit of both perspectives, right? So if I may just add a little bit of my perspective, I do think that a lot of the times we are very quick to diagnose and label things.
Oh, because 100%.
How can as time progresses and as I got more deeper into like child development and psychology and stuff like that, a lot of the times we don't realize that the brain itself gets developed at different times of your life, and it's different for males and it's different for women. So a lot of the times when a 6-year-old boy is misbehaving or is very active and can't control, his actions, is because of the fact that the frontal lobe, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's not fully developed.
It's not fully developed, which enables a child, at least in the male gender, to develop that frontal lobe to fully know when it's time to be calm and when it's time to be like behaved, right? Mm-hmm. So oftentimes when you have a 6-year-old boy or a 5-year-old boy that's very, very active, the parents take the boy in to get diagnosed or to be looked at because he's very active, and they're always very quick to just label it and then just put on meds and then just have the kid just be like a zombie, right? Mm-hmm. So I get your father's perspective on that matter.
Yeah.
However, I feel like, okay, you're old now. You've had this for your life, and that going back in your childhood, you recall deep down what it's like.
There were so many tests. There were so many instances in my brain where I didn't understand why I was feeling or why I just couldn't focus, right? And I couldn't zone into one thing, or I couldn't listen. Era desobediente o era activa and this and that. And yes, it's a part of my personality and my identity. And I feel like something like ADHD, which is like the medical terminology for something, the way that my brain processes things, I feel like in a way, and I was talking about this with my sister, I feel like in a way, this was what shaped my personality.
Correct.
Because ADHD,
now you're at a point where now you know that, hey, you know what? I think something is really active or going on. You know what I mean? Because me, for example, I felt like I always grew up normal, and I was always very much like, okay, resiliency and being tough and being strong and being this. And I was always mentally tough until actual traumatic events happened in my life where I genuinely don't understand 100% what I truly have going on. And that's how I really truly know that I have a chemical imbalance. Right. And it's really, really tough because sometimes our parents lack a little bit of that information, where you know yourself that now through education, you've learned that there is such a thing as chemical imbalance. And there are times where, you know what, I just really lack a little bit of discipline and I can focus. And then there's times where, like, even if I'm disciplined, man, like, I really don't know what I'm like. I really don't know. And that's why I guess I'm asking you what it is like for you and your experience.
So I feel like, so my little sister is studying micro and cellular biology, right? So she is studying at the molecular level, at the cellular level. She is studying a lot of different things. She's studying about, you know, everything about the body. And so when she's looking at me, she's looking at it from a perspective, a very different perspective, Michelle. She's looking at it from a scientific and educated perspective. But when you tell your parents, Mom, Dad, I have depression, I have anxiety, I'm feeling bad, I'm feeling like this, I'm feeling like that.
In the Hispanic culture
and the fucking Mexican culture, they dismiss you. It's hard. And so I've had to buckle down, and I've said it once and I say it again. I have a strong relationship with my parents. And so anytime I'm going through it emotionally, I'm not really an emotional person. But when I go through it emotionally, my dad doesn't like to see me cry. He it causes him anxiety to see me cry. He's like, controla tus emociones, no llores. And I'm like, if I want to cry, I'm going to cry. I'm fucking going through it. I'm going to cry. I'm going to feel like this.
This is a form of expression.
So when he told me, tú no tienes nada, tú piensa que no tienes nada, dismissing science and just putting it all in the hands of God, I'm like, all right. I have fucking cancer. Oh, it's in the hands of God. Fuck it if I die. Right? It's like, bitch, you can't fucking think like that.
I think that, if I may butt in, so I do believe in science. I just want to clarify. I do want to say that. I do believe in science. And I do believe that if you need to, you know, if you have something going on that you do need to get checked, and you do need to get, it needs to be addressed. But I think ultimately, your mind is so powerful that if you make your mind believe that you know, it's almost like, I don't know if you've ever read the book Law of Attraction. And some of you might just be like, nah, this bitch is crazy.
No, I
Some
understand.
of you might be like, mind over matter. And this is something that Christian and I always talk about, because I always tell him, like, little things affect little minds. Y tu mind es tan poderosa que si tú empiezas a creer, because your thoughts become, you know, something that you constantly think, right? What you constantly think is now a belief. And what you believe is how your character gets developed. And what your character develops is essentially who you become. And who you become determines what your future will look like. So you have to literally attack your thoughts. And I want to say that your dad may be trying to tackle that thought before it actually becomes a thing. However, there's got to be a balance with everything, right? Because you already know that you're mentally tough. And you mentally are aware that, you know what, I understand when I need to be focused, and I understand what I don't need to be focused. And next thing you know, 5 minutes into a conversation, I realized I wasn't present in that conversation, and it happens all the time. And my mind is elsewhere, or your experience.
When I was talking to you guys about structure, and how structure shaped and helped me, how having a job and reporting to a job and waking up at 2 a.m. every single day and going to my job and doing the things that I was doing, that helped me. And it's that type of structure that has helped me not only understand, but get through this process of me thinking about mental health in a different way.
Yeah.
And I've always seen myself as a very privileged individual.
Yeah.
And that stems from when you came to this country. And I see myself as, wow, I have a house and I have a roof over my head and I have food and I have all of these things. And so I'm so privileged, right? And so I speak English and I speak Spanish and I'm able to go to school while there's people working in fucking 90-degree weather picking grapes in where I come from.
Yeah. And
they'll never get the opportunities that I have, right? So for my whole life.
I mean, hopefully one day they will.
Hopefully one day they will, but sometimes, you know.
Esa es la vida que les tocó.
Esa es la vida que ellos han aceptado como normal y no tienen esa gana o ese...
Or the ability to.
Oportunidad de superarse, pues.
Sí.
And so I was talking to my boss about it this morning and I was just like, my whole life, I've seen myself as a privileged woman, as a privileged person. But just talking about when I was at the doctor and I was talking to my doctor, I was like, is there any other, you know, clinical studies that can get done on my brain? Anything else that I could do? Any mental health access that I have? I have Medi-Cal, so I don't have like Kaiser. I don't have like the good insurance or whatever. And I've always understood that we have a fundamental fucked up system of a fucked up healthcare system. I studied it in college and I was like, oh wow, this doesn't affect me because I have Medi-Cal. I can go to the doctor when I get sick. But when I was talking to my doctor and I was asking him all these questions that were really good questions, my doctor was like, well, our community has really come to a shortcoming when it comes to mental health and mental health awareness. So, and your insurance doesn't cover these types of tests. So it's going to cost money. It's going to cost out of pocket. So that's when you realize, fuck, dude, I'm not so privileged as I thought I was.
I don't have the resources or the income.
I genuinely do not have the socioeconomic status to be able to help understand or figure out exactly what it is that's going on with me.
Right.
And so the last few days after that appointment, I've just been overthinking in my brain, like every exam, I knew I wasn't fucking crazy. And that's what kills me because when you know, I'm really good with my gut, right? I have gut feelings and I'm really good. And I was like, am I just fucking stupid or is this test really hard for me?
Yeah.
Is it a really hard fucking test? Am I like, I was having a conversation with my sister and my best friend. It's like, do I hate you guys? Are you uninteresting? Or am I just, my brain is out of pocket?
I don't think that it's that you hate them.
No, but it's like in my brain, that's me overthinking. Like, are you just not interesting enough for me to be in this conversation with you right now? Or is it that I literally, my brain cannot focus on the conversation that we're having right now. And that's what my sister said. My sister was like, Kathy was like, bitch, you are gone. I'm talking to you and you're gone.
I feel like too.
I don't know why. Like,
I feel like, okay, so for example, and I mean, I'm not an expert. This is just talking me because of me. Okay. Siento que hay cosas en las que yo no estoy feliz conmigo misma. You know, I don't feel happy with myself because of certain tendencies and habits that I have.
Yeah.
So, siento que you can challenge yourself into thinking that I am going to genuinely try to be present in this moment. Right.
Yeah.
Make it a challenge for yourself. And we're not fucking psychologists. Okay. This is just me saying.
This is me talking about my experience of being diagnosed with ADHD. And I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do about that.
Because if, you know, you could be like, okay, I'm having this conversation. Because you know that you actively know that you have perhaps this condition.
Yeah.
So why don't you try to eliminate
what is not?
What are the things that can potentially trigger this? I don't want to call it disease, but it is a disease.
It's a mental health illness or whatever.
Correct.
Yeah. I think that to answer your question.
Yeah.
When I was working in that creative space, and I've literally talked about this in the podcast.
Yeah.
Just describing my personality and my identity and all of these things. Siento que cuando yo estoy en un espacio creativo, artístico, baile, I love to dance, I love to choreograph, I love to create.
Are you able to focus?
I am able to focus on exactly what it is that I'm doing.
Siento que estás en tu elemento, güey.
When I am cooking, when I am creating something, when I am cooking, when I am bartending, when I am literally creating something, is
you're
when
just a different breed.
Nobody can talk to me because I'm just...
And she's focused. Y yo siento que es porque tú eres tan apasionada en lo que haces.
Yeah.
And what truly interests you, you give it your all.
I'm very genuine when someone or something is interesting to me. I'm very genuine. I'm like, I forget that I have to censor myself or filter myself, and I forget that I have to think about their emotions or feelings too sometimes, because I'm like, but da 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 da. And sometimes people are like, Tita, no se preguntan esas preguntas, o no hagas.
It's about like,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
It's about like
understand. My mind is like so interested in what the fuck is going on.
I think it all has to do about like understanding boundaries and understanding where everything is stemming from, right? And going back to what I was saying, I'm only advising some of these things to you because of the fact that when I struggled with my anxiety and my depression, I was doing habits that were not helping some of these things, right? Because I knew for a fact I was going through depression. I knew for a fact I was going through anxiety. Yeah. I knew that I was struggling with PTSD.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
big time.
Big fucking time.
Now I feel like I don't have PTSD as severe. However, I tried my hardest to develop good things that I knew were going to help me focus on the positive aspect of things.
And that is exactly what the last few days I've been trying to figure out, like
what it is for you, finding your niche.
There's a part of me that's really like sad that I've literally been going through this, and I'm not just thinking about myself. I'm thinking about all of the other people who don't have that education and don't have that spark to question, why the fuck am I thinking like this?
Right.
All of the people in my culture, in my community, the people that don't have that education, we're first generation, bro.
Yeah.
We are first generation education. When my fucking kids grow up, they're going to have a very, very, very deep understanding of a lot of these things. But for me, it's like, I wasn't crazy.
You were not. And I don't think that you are. And I don't think anybody out there is.
I thought that I was crazy.
Yeah.
I thought that I was crazy. I felt, estoy bien pinche loca, güey, porque soy como soy, o soy así porque así. And I'm not trying to fucking pity myself, bro, but I'm just overthinking everything that's been going on, all of my thoughts and shit. And I really feel like I have to find, other than medication, because I don't want to fucking depend on any medication.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely believe that taking meds will lead you to taking something like Ritalin or Adderall will lead you to not being able to sleep, will lead you to sleeping pills, will lead you to...
I just think that they just open another whole can of worms. Yes. That sure, while they may be assisting some of your diseases or whatever it is, I'm sorry, I hate calling them diseases, but essentially that's what they are. Well, they may be treating illnesses, whatever the illnesses. Yeah. They may be also opening up another can of worms. And I genuinely believe that it's really, 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 really rough to get yourself out of a tough spot.
Yeah.
But I also do believe that it's very doable.
Yes.
And I agree with you because medicating can be tough. I mean, I've been medicated in the past for everything I just mentioned, and I did not feel good. Yeah. And then when you try to stop to take some of these meds, it causes almost like a withdrawal, like you're in genuine drugs.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's like we're still so premature. We're still trying to understand a lot of the human brain and what it truly is.
But think about, yes.
Pero yo pienso que tienes que aprenderte a ti misma.
I have to learn yourself. Exactly. And I've been working on that. Mm-hmm. Think about it, Michelle. We talked about the microbiome. We talked about everything he was saying. Food, first of all, food is medicine. Mm-hmm. And what you put in your body is medicine.
Right.
But people are getting the same medicine for a disease or an illness that is affecting their physiological body differently.
Yeah.
And I have a fundamental understanding that my body, my cells, my blood type, my bones, everything about me is so distinct, intricate, and different that something like Adderall or Ritalin may assist me, but it could fuck me up in a very different way. I want to learn. What I really want to do is I want to try the medication to develop strong habits strong enough, like going pee and going to the bathroom and fucking literally like brushing my teeth and like drinking.
Lo que yo pienso en mi experiencia es de que this is just me, okay? This is just my opinion. Please, I hope you people out there don't judge me. Pero
tomar más tequila.
Tequila solves all your
now
issues,
I know why
bro.
Mexicans are alcoholics, bro. I swear to God, Mexicans are probably going through depression, anxiety, and then they're like, mental
alcohol
health
just kind of helps.
Bro.
No es broma. Pero in all seriousness, I do feel that. So here's the thing. I just felt like when I was taking or I was smoking out of like puff bars or, I never got into cigarettes. I mainly got into like, not even vaping. It was more like the puff bars or the Juul.
Yeah.
I felt like I was willed enough to when I said enough is enough. And that was it. I could put it down and I have a strong willpower to say enough is enough, because whenever I felt a lot of anxiety, I felt like what kind of helped alleviate some of that stress and some of that was just taking a little bit of the puff bar or that minty flavored deliciousness. Yeah. And then, be like, all right, we're good. All right, I feel that I'm lightheaded and I feel more at ease, right? But then I also felt like whenever I wanted to quit that habit, I had enough willpower to be like, enough is enough. And till this day, I haven't. I just went through a small period of time. But I feel that when you give someone medication and you introduce that substance into your body, es más difícil detaching yourself from the substance, because I feel like it's not just your mind. So it's your body. For me, and this is something that I learned about myself. Yeah. When there is an obligation, and this is literally the conversation, if you can reflect back on our podcasts, where I don't respect myself enough, right? This idea of me not respecting myself enough to being structured and habitual. It's not necessarily just me not respecting myself. It's a chemical imbalance that's going on in my body that doesn't allow, in my brain, that doesn't allow me to become habitual and develop these habits. Mm-hmm. Going pee, literally physical things, sneezing, coughing, these things that you have to do, right? Mm-hmm. Structure is something that I crave. Obligation is something that develops structure. Mm-hmm. When I have a job, I am very responsible to my job. Do you think that once you have that higher power to like respond to, like, for example, your boss, your job,
when
or
I have
whatever.
my boss, my job, I am a reliable person. I'm a respectful person. I show up. I put in the work. I'm a hardworking person, and it's all because of how I was raised.
Is what kind of keeps you in check.
How we were raised.
Yeah.
So I'm, like you said, I'm learning about myself and how I can help my own
habits.
But I feel like maybe trying a certain dose of this medication could help me develop these habits that will be strong enough to maintain where I can veer off of the medication eventually. I do not have an addictive personality. I don't. And you don't either, because
I don't.
No.
Pero yo siento como, por ejemplo, I've heard of instances where people go into medication y se salen de la medication, and it's really hard on them and
to
impactful
get out
on
of
their
the
body.
Medication?
Yeah, to the point where they now rely.
Michelle, but that's a dependent. They create a dependency. I genuinely believe.
Pero okay, so
I'm
people
not
out there. So think about this. Do you guys think that? And maybe some folks out there can support this actually medically with research and stuff like that. Do you think that your body actually depends on, because not so much mentally, because when we're talking about mental stuff is exactly what I was talking about, the puff bar. Being able to just puff it and then have it create the good habits
and then
to where you're be like,
good to you.
I'm good.
See,
like,
te sientes bien. O sea, I puffed it. I feel good. I'm good.
And then whenever I feel like I'm mentally okay, que ya no me siento estresada, where I could just be like, thank you, Puff Bar, for what you've done for me, but I am done with you. And then just being able to go maybe perhaps even cold turkey, because that's what I've done with the Puff Bars.
That's that independent personality that you have. And I genuinely do not have. If I can depend on you, I will. If there is any instance where you do not, where I no longer feel comfortable enough to depend on you, I will not depend on you.
Pero what do you guys think? Do you guys think that for those that maybe perhaps you have an addictive personality, that you're going to be able to just lay off that medication as soon as you, like you say, you feel that you're going to be like, okay, I'm good. I think I can be like done with this medication? Or do you guys think that you can be like cold turkey? For me personally, when I was in this medication, that's exactly what I was afraid of, because I'm like, okay, this Puff Bar I have control over. Medication, I don't know, because I feel like this medication is above me. Yeah, it's now messing with my chemical brain structure. Well, it's shifting some of the things. So now let's just say the minute that I lay off this medication, am I going to go back to where I was? And so then therefore, even though unwillingly, now you've developed this dependency, even though you didn't like it, and unwillingly, because of the fact that you don't have control over that. But do you guys know what I mean?
I understand exactly what you're saying. And I feel like there's a genuine counter to everything we've been talking about for the last 20 minutes. Why is being someone who has ADHD such a bad fucking thing?
It isn't.
It genuinely, to you, but to society, it's something that needs to be medicated. Right? So for me, I've learned, I didn't fucking know that it's scientifically, I didn't know that I had it or whatever.
Right.
And I'm getting a second opinion. I'm going to go, seeking free mental health, aware, all of these things. Right. So I'm pursuing, I'm not going to settle for one thing. Right. I'm not going to settle for one news outlet. I'm not going to settle for one diagnostic. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely seeking, I got blood work done. I'm working on seeking a second opinion, but as I'm analyzing everything and I'm thinking about, fuck, maybe this is why I am that the way that I am.
This is why I am the way that I am.
Maybe all this time it was just scientifically I had ADHD, and normally for me it's Tita, right? But I feel like there's also a historically societal thing to mental illness of like, oh, you have ADHD, you are seen as someone who has a deficiency. You are deficient because
like,
your brain is not operating normally. So that's that fucking... Can you imagine the clash that's going on in my brain? I'm like zoned out. I was telling her, I literally feel dead inside right now. Sometimes I normally feel dead inside, but since that doctor's appointment, I've been just...
You feel like you're onto something, finding a solution to what you feel is conflicting inside of you.
I am identifying a fucking problem.
You're
that
finally
I've always
finding out.
Had a hypothesis that there was something abnormal about the way that I thought.
You're right.
And there's so many people that don't even fucking understand that they might have this type of issue. Issue. Me calling it an illness, a disease, an issue. I feel like humans are human beings.
I mean, our human brains are just so like, they're so complicated to understand. Yes. And we're still in a process of understanding our own human brains. Human brains that we're, as time progresses and as technology advances, we're learning so much. But I feel like you opened up this kind of can of worms in a way for everybody out there who might be feeling exactly the same way that you may be feeling. And again, they may be feeling misunderstood or que no saben what is going on, you know? Like, why do I feel this way? Why do I have this lack of attention span? Why is it that I feel this way? Why is it that I struggle when I take a test? Why is it that I have to read this question about 6 to 7 times and not fully understand? Because you know that you're not stupid inside.
But I feel like some people, by the way that they're raised, they probably do feel stupid.
No, pero the way that sabes, you're a brilliant person. And so sometimes I feel like I'm a baddie. A veces. So yo me siento como un baddie.
Period, Poe.
Y como que a veces como este sentimiento de baddie que cargo con a veces my actions or some feelings that sometimes creep up on me como si fueran weeds, like the ones that you can't get rid of.
Yeah.
Then you're like, deep down you know that you're a baddie, and deep down you know you are capable. Why is it that all this cloudiness is overtaking your shine?
Yeah.
Is a way that I could describe it.
Yeah.
Because deep down you're like, there has to be something else going on.
And for the longest time, it was in the back of my brain. And I didn't have an understanding. So I studied political science in college.
Right.
I wrote papers, which I excelled in. I'm an amazing improviser.
Exactly.
I know.
You killed it.
I fucking know my strengths.
She fucking graduated from UC Davis.
And I know my weaknesses. And I graduated from fucking UC Davis probably with having ADHD and not even knowing it. And so as I'm thinking about the LSAT, and when I pursued the LSAT and the standardized testing aspect of it, it was always so difficult. And I fucking paid hella money and I invested so much time and so much energy, and I just couldn't fucking get it right. And me not understanding that I genuinely had this fucking thing that was going on in my brain, it really bothers me that I didn't question this before. And me being like the educated person that I am, it really bothers me that I didn't ask myself, hey, how are you? Like check in on myself. Like, I always thought it was my normal. I always thought that me being energetic and crazy and wild and fucking like this free bird and free soul was my normal. But when you know and you understand that there's accommodations that you can have in school.
Correct.
Time and a half. There is fucking things that you can get in your benefit.
As time progresses, that we've learned that these things actually exist. There are things that can accommodate.
Yeah, exactly. It's really not that you're privileged. And I see, I don't want to seem like I'm privileged. I don't want to seem like I'm better than anybody else for getting this time and a half. No, it's genuinely that you have this problem. And
sometimes you feel bad because I felt the same way. For example, there were times when I was physically diagnosed with PTSD. I was told that I can get more time in testing and that I could get more leniency on certain things. Internally, I never asked my teacher to see if there was any way possible where I can take extra time or anything like that, because I didn't want to make it seem like I was trying to be above others,
anybody,
or that I was trying to use that as an excuse. And that does not, no, like it's there for a reason. I get it. Pero como que tú misma internally,
like
you're
you don't
like,
fucking
no.
deserve it.
Yeah, exactly. I feel that.
Like you don't deserve the help.
Exactly. I'm just like, no, I could do it just like everybody else. At least that's how I felt.
And I felt like that too.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I don't deserve this. I come from privilege. My parents, they've helped me with everything.
Yeah.
I've had a home. I've had jobs.
Right.
I've been able to get work. And it's this fundamental idea of privilege that I feel like I have. And people look at me and they're like, you're a woman, you're a Latina, you're first gen. You are so underprivileged, you don't even know it. Yeah. And it's like, bitch, it's my underprivilege that has shaped me to be the woman that I am today.
Yeah.
And there, I mean, I that's literally the way that I can fucking put it.
Right. Yeah.
But that mentality, Michelle, it doesn't help when you have mental health issues. Yeah. It puts everything aside, like, oh no, gracias, pero ya me ayudaron lo suficiente, or gracias, ya me dieron lo suficiente. You have that mentality and that idea of muchas gracias, con esto basta.
Yeah, like I don't need any more.
I'm good, thank you so much. Like, this is too much. That you don't think about these things.
That you actually deserve more, that you're entitled to more.
I don't feel like that.
Exactly, same. I feel the same.
And I think it's a big part of our fucking culture.
Yeah.
And I think that when my kids are born and when my kids come up and are raised and all of these things, I'm going to be genuinely focused on how are you? How are you feeling? You need to work hard.
Same.
You need to fucking bust your ass, but also, are you good?
Yeah, check in. Y sí, y la mera verdad que pues it is a real thing. You know, what are some of you, like, share with us, like what is some of your like experiences? What are your thoughts? Are you perhaps going through any of what we're going through, and what is your story? As we basically wrap up, you know, the episode,
pretty much.
What are some of your experiences? What is it that you're going through? How do you feel? And do you feel the same way as us? Or is it just us? I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's others out there.
I'm pretty sure there's like more
out there.
Yeah.
But
it was a kind of like a weird episode, kind of like,
okay, we've done so much, but like guys, here we are today.
I feel like you guys are experiencing like my thought process of what I'm going through, just like.
Más aparte que la pandemia ha hecho mucha gente reflexionar on a lot of things.
Yeah, I really think that too.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, you're so busy. As Americans, we're fucking waking up. We're like,
que como
zoom,
que
zoom, 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 zoom.
Hay mucho en lo que tú dices, wow, I really bypassed a lot of things.
Yes.
And now that the pandemic hit, and now that I've had more like time with myself, not that I've taken time, work isn't all. I realize that I don't have, that I have work and then maybe I have a life. I realized that I have a life and I happen to work, which is huge. And there's just a lot of things that, you know, you're like, okay, maybe I didn't, like, we were talking about this with Spencer and Elizabeth, like, you don't come to this earth so that you can work the majority of your life.
No.
Stuff like that.
No, you fucking don't.
And I feel like there are just so many different issues and so many different topics and stuff like that, that I just don't want to open up another thing, because again, this is just basically we're trying to wrap up our episode, but we're here. We are coming back to you guys with another episode of like a bunch of like emotions and with a really full heart of things that we really have going on that we just are so eager to share with you guys.
Yeah.
But we also want to see if there's anybody out there as well that can identify with what we're going through.
Yeah.
And what she's going through. And
so if anybody knows me, for everybody that knows me that's been watching our episodes, you know my personality, you know how I am. It was the ADHD. Probably was the ADHD. With a combination of just my personality.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy
but she's a
wild.
badass. And we all love her.
But I don't mind. I mean, I genuinely, like, it's kind of like a relief.
Yeah.
Of being like, bro, I wasn't tripping. I wasn't even tripping.
At the end of all things, at
the end of the day,
there's an explanation.
I knew there was something a little bit off about me. But now that I'm in his headspace where I'm overthinking everything.
Yeah.
Well, and I can guarantee you, and I promise you, that a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now,
you're going to be in a different spot.
I'm going to be in a very different headspace.
So where are you guys at? Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what are you guys feeling?
Yes.
What is it that
please comment, like, follow, share.
We really
everything.
appreciate.
If you genuinely enjoyed this episode, we really hope that you can like be honest with us and open up to us and let us know. Exactly. Chat with us about it.
But thank you so much, you guys. We really love you. Here's another episode. Mwah. You guys comment, share, let us know.
Follow. We know you have a lot of followers. Fucking share that shit. Have everybody follow us. We love you.
Thank you.